Hey guys, Looney here and welcome back to yet another tutorial. This is episode 2 of setting up a Bukkit server plugin for your Bukkit server. So I'm working with 1.7.9 in this tutorial. I will be changing the titles to like 1.8 and etc. If it works. If it doesn't work, I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to lie to you guys to get views. So we're going to code this episode. And this is basically an Eclipse, so you want to go ahead and load up your Eclipse. So let me just load up Eclipse, run, and you just want to wait for it to load. This is where we're going to be using our workspace. I'm going to click OK and wait for it to load our workbench and etc. Your workbench is basically the design view of Eclipse, like this workbench here. So first thing you want to do is File, New. And it's also here as well, so you can just click this thing and Java project. This here means basically means new things. So project name, I'm just going to call this tutorial main. In fact, I'm just going to call it tutorial 1. Just mainly because everything's going to be in this folder. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and create a new package. This package will be called me.tut or whatever you want it to be called. So it'll be me dot and then the server you're going to do it for. Mine's just tutorial. I could really do me.hub.main. But the last thing here, which is main, basically represents what it is. So this is the main class. So I'm going to put finish, and in source again, you want to click source and create a new package. And do me.tut.main. So it's basically what the main one's called, and then .listener or listeners even. So first thing we're going to want to go ahead and do, we're going to right click tutorial 1, build path, configure build path, and we're going to go to libraries, add external jars. And this is basically where you want to go ahead and locate where your jar is downloaded to. So mine's setting up a Bukkit server, plugins, and 1.7.9 right here. And OK. Alright guys, so I am back. So the class that we had to make in the me.tut.main, you want to click here and click this little class thing. And you want to call it main, but with a capital M. So that's that, and finish. And then in listeners, you want to click create a class and then put player listener, capital P, capital L, no spaces, and we'll click finish as well. So we're going to work in main at the moment. So the first thing that we're going to want to go ahead and do is extends Java plugin. Now I'll get a error here, and so will you guys. I'll go ahead and sort that out in a second, but let me just go ahead and configure my build path because I had to recreate the project. Okay. Alright, so in Java plugin, you just want to hover over it, or if this little box thing doesn't pop up, hover over it and then press Control and space, and it should pop up. And click import Java plugin. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is type in private static main capital M instance. Next thing we're going to go ahead and do is public void log string and then a open squiggly bracket, and then in here system dot out, if my keyboard stops messing around, system dot out dot print ln, and then bracket string, and then a semicolon at the end. If you ever see me misspell anything, it's mainly because my keyboard is a piece of crap. So public static main get instance. Make sure that everything's spelled the exact same way, otherwise it won't work, and you'll be in some many complications. We want to do return instance here. We'll also get rid of that error. And the first thing we're going to the thing that we're going to want to do now is public void register listeners. This will be the listeners that we have in our entire class. So we'll leave this one in fact no, we'll do this now. So you want to do plugin, because we're in here, we'll do everything in here now. So plugin manager pm equals get server dot get plugin manager, plugin manager, and then pm dot register events, new player listener, this space this. We want to go ahead and import plugin manager and go ahead and import player listener. So the first thing we're going to want to do now, so basically this, it all starts here. So on enable is here, on enable. So first thing we're going to want to go ahead and do is do a at override. The at override public void on enable. Just totally ignore the phone in the background. Get logger dot info, and this is basically going to be the information that's displayed in the console when the plugin is enabled. You don't need to put the plugin name has been enabled, because it will automatically do that. It will say the name and then the message. So was sucks. In fact, I'm just going to put has been enabled. Has been enabled without errors, and then that'll be that for a second. Then at override, sorry, that's not going to be it for a second. You want to do instance equals this, and you also want to do register listeners instance, and that will be that. So at override, not override, override public void on disable. So this is going to be what will be called when the plugin is getting disabled, whether it's getting disabled by a different plugin or you've shut down the server. So I'm going to put has been disabled without errors, and here we're going to put return equals null, not nuck. You want to put null, not return instance. No idea why I said return instance, and that's that. So because we're not working on any commands in this, we'll be doing the message when a player joins the game. We're going to go ahead and go into player listener. Ignore these errors for a little bit. They'll sort themselves out while we're doing this. So in public class player listener, the first thing we want to go ahead and do is implement listener. So if we went ahead and typed implements listener and import listener, that will be them sort out that little error. And then main plugin public player listener main instance, and then this dot plugin equals instance, and that will then be an error. So import main and everything will sort itself out. So let's go ahead and save all, or you could just save each individual class by just clicking on them and then clicking this button here. So now we're going to do a message for when a player joins. So / when a player joins the server, and at event handler, because it's an event, we want to do public void. Let's say you could basically put anything here as a void. So I'm just going to call it on join, or actually on p join, so I know it's on player join, and then here will be player join event e, which is very useful. This, it does matter, so go ahead and import event handler, and then go ahead and import the player join event. So I'm going to go ahead and do player p equals e dot get player, because we'll be using this quite a lot. So string p name equals p dot get name. It's going to be really useful and you will need it. So import player, and the thing that we need now will be pretty simple. So I'm going to put a // so if player has joined before. So we're gonna go ahead and do just above this e.set. In fact, we'll do a // again. So / setting Bukkit join message to null. So we want to do e.set join message. So this will be the message that is sent to the entire server when a player joins. So we don't want to put this on. We don't want to display when a player joins, because otherwise, if your server has quite a lot of people that will join the server, it will get spammed. So we want to do if p.has played before equals in fact open bracket, and then outside of here equals false. Then we want to do p.send message. As soon as my keyboard starts messing up. P.send message, and what we want to do is we either want to send them a specific message in the coding, or we can run it from my config. There's no need in running it from my config because it's from your own server. So I'm going to go ahead and create some fancy colors. So to do this, you just want to do chat color dot and again, I'm sorry, my keyboard is messing up a lot. So let's say we want to go ahead and pick a color. Oh, and by the way, if you don't know how to get this little thing up after color dot, it will either open it up, or if you're confused and it doesn't load up, hold control and space. So the template proposals won't come up, or whatever. So anyway, so let's say I want the message to display in gold, plus welcome to our server. Actually, welcome to the server, and then the name. So you want to do a space and then the end quotation, and then plus p name plus space. Oh, you could put a full stop or an exclamation mark, and then a space, and then please have fun on the server. We've worked hard to custom code almost, and then space, oh / if not all off our plugins. You can basically put any message you want there. It doesn't really matter, but it's pretty much self-explanatory. So yeah. So if you wanted to reset the chat, you do chat. Oh, in fact, you want to do plus chat color dot reset, and that's that. Reset will basically reset the chat. So if you've got like gold and bold like together, and you don't want that to go ahead and go across the server or the entire message, like you want to get rid of the bold, do chat color dot reset and then do the chat color again, and it will work. So that's the only thing we pretty much want to do. So in fact, I'm going to go ahead and put we've noticed, actually no, I'm going to put it's your first time on the server, we hope you enjoy it. And then underneath here I'm going to put, oh, not underneath there, but on this little squiggly bracket I'm going to put else if and then p dot has played before equals true. So basically this is if the player has played on the server before, then we want to send them a message. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this, put it here. By the way, you don't even need to have chat.reset. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to take it off because it's not needed. So yeah, I'm going to take it off to stop confusing you guys. So I'm going to put welcome back to the server, and that's it. So let's delete that, and welcome back to the server. And that's what I'm going to go ahead and put. And actually in here I'm going to put chat color.aqua aqua plus, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same here. So chat color.aqua plus. You always want to put plus. It basically means and. So yeah, and that is that. So let's say we want to go ahead and set a player's when player. Wait, no, we don't know, do it there. We're basically going to go ahead and create another one here. So it's here. So / when a player leaves the server. We want to do at event handler public void on p leave or quit. We're going to put quit. Then player quit event e, or you can put event there, here, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to put e because I always use my codings as e. I try and shorten it down as much as I can basically. So here I'm not going to really say to the player that they've quit, because you can't, because they've quit the server. So that's a bit simple. So I'm literally just going to go ahead and put e.set quit message null. So it doesn't say when a player's actually left the server, otherwise the chat will be spammed a lot. So that is that. So if we went ahead and gone back into the main, let's go ahead and delete that C, that shouldn't be there, and basically that will be this error here done. So that is pretty much that. If you want to set a respawn or death message, you want to go ahead and do when a player dies in the server. So we're basically just going to go ahead and remove the player's death message as well. So public void on p death player death event e, and then e.set death message, and then null, because we don't really want to display anything. You could actually just put like parentheses, quotation marks, as they're also known as, and put nothing inside of them, or null works anyway. So let's go ahead and right click tutorial 1 and export, because this is basically all that we're going to do for this tutorial. Click Java, open it up, and click jar file, next, and then we want to untick these two. In fact, no, you want to go back, go into tutorial 1, new file, and you want to create a plugin.yml. Now mine will sadly open up in Notepad++, so I'm just going to go ahead and close it, and right click, open with text editor, and do name. So this is basically the name that will be called at the folder, so I'm going to call it tutorial 1. The main class will be this class here, so that you need to do the directory, so me.tut.main, but with a capital M. Capital letters do matter, so the next one you want to do is version 1.0, and author, Looney rules. You don't really need to do author, but I always do it. So export, jar file, next, untick class path and .project because you don't need it, and then you want to do the directory of where it's going to be saved. I'm going to go ahead and save mine in hub, plugins, and then tutorial 1, which is basically our first plugin, and then next, sorry, not next, finish, and that's that. So there we go, there's our tutorial 1 enabling tutorial 1, and tutorial 1 has been enabled without errors. So if I went ahead and gone into my server, this is the server name, and if I did do a tutorial before where I was actually saying how these color codes won't work in your MOTD. If you want MOTD colors, I'll put the site in the description for them. It's not hard, pretty simple. So yeah, so as you can see, I joined the server and it said welcome back to the server. Why did it say this? It's because I've already joined the server, so hopefully I'll be able to go ahead and go into it was something on here, user cache. If we went ahead and edited this with Notepad++, so that didn't really load what I wanted it to load. So I did say that the first episode would have been, or first coding episode would have been to do /heal/feed, but I'm not going to do that. On message or join messages help there. So if I did /kill and I died, you'd realise that it didn't say anything to do with that I died. It just says ouch, that looks like it hurt. Where if I died from a mob, alright, so I've took quite a lot of health. I'm nearly dead. Not long, so I'll just go ahead and damage myself. Boom, there we go. There's nothing that displayed in the chat because we set the message to null, and as you can see there's nothing in the code that actually messed up either. So if I actually quit the server, you'll see that it just says that I disconnected. It didn't say anything to do with me leaving the server, which is good. So if I actually join the server again, you'll see it also says welcome back, and then my name in Aqua. So you know, it's pretty cool. I should have really done chat.reset and then did gold there, but it doesn't really matter. So let me just go ahead and sort out the way when I join the server but without being on the server before. So I'll be back in a second. So guys, to sort out the players data to make sure that they set it to that they haven't actually played on the server before, go to world, which is the world name, go to player data and delete their name. Now 1.7.9 or above will be their player UUID, or basically their UID, the user ID. Sorry, and let me just stop the server. Not stop, sorry, just leave it and delete it again. And let me just go ahead and join my server again, and you'll see that I get a different message. And obviously I didn't sort out the chat color.reset, so it did everything in the aqua color. So welcome to the server, inject service X. Well, yeah, it's your first time on the server, we hope you enjoy it. So basically that's the message that we set, so that's how you do that, guys. Sorry the tutorial took so long. I kind of wanted to go sort of in depth and help you guys out. I didn't want to copy and paste coding, as there's no point. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, please leave a rating to really do help me out. And next episode, I promise you guys that we will be doing /heal and /feed. So guys, I'll be back very shortly. See you guys.